Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we saw responsive buyers were active at the 79.5 support, and from there we've seen a pretty strong upside move into the 22.05 resistance level where responsive sellers stepped in. At this point, heading into the open, we know that the overnight session has been dominated by the buy side and the larger time frame bias also continues to be bullish, but our short-term bias is going to be neutral here simply because the market is set to open at a fairly aggressive area of support. So the 96.75 to 98.75 pre-market support is the most aggressive area of support where buyers can step in. So in order for the market to hold this area and continue going higher, we are going to have to see the other markets actually maintaining their overnight bullish structure and continued upside momentum. So if off the open, we're seeing the tick is holding above zero and we're not seeing any strong downside action in the other markets, then 96.75 to 98.75 area can technically hold, but just keep in mind that it is an aggressive area of support and it's only going to work if we continue to see aggressive buyers active in the market and the momentum continues to be on the upside. In the event that the pre-market support zone holds, on the upside, we have pre-market resistance at 22.0475 to 575, and a breakout above that area would bring the 0.8 half to 10 half resistance into play, and potentially the 1275 to 1375 all-time high. Now, in the event of a breakout above 0.575, we really have to gauge the underlying momentum situation and gauge the quality of the breakout. If it's a high momentum breakout, then the 0.8 half to 10 half area may not hold, and we may have to go up towards 1275 to 1375 in order to attract sellers in this market. But given how the other markets are behaving at the moment, S&P is the strongest market, but because the other markets are not quite as strong, as ES pushes up into 0.8 half to 10 half or 1275 to 1375, most likely Nasdaq and Russell will also be testing their own respective areas of resistance, and that can limit the upside in the S&P. It can make it a little more difficult for ES to print a new all-time high. So we just have to be mindful of the fact that the market is trading at pretty aggressive prices here, close to the all-time high, and we just have to be mindful of the reward potential for anyone who is buying up here. And that's why we have to really track the momentum in real time, because in order for the market to continue going higher, we are going to need that persistent upside momentum. And simply a lack of momentum and a lack of strength at these higher areas of resistance can be enough for sell side to step in, and then the market can kind of consolidate the overnight move and pretty much balance for remainder of the day. On the downside, below pre-market support, we have the previous close and previous VPOC at 92 and 92 half, and the initial support zone at 89 to 91. And as long as we're not seeing any strong signs of weakness or excess downside momentum, responsive buyers can still defend 89 to 91. Below that, we have Friday's RTH low at 87, and then the next area of important support is at 82 to 84 half. That marks the recent low as well as the overnight launching point at 82 and the 84 high volume node. And then below that, we have 76 half to 79 half, and all of those areas are spots where responsive buyers can be active and that larger time frame bullish bias can come back into effect. So off the open, we're going to keep an eye on the 96.75 to 98.75 pre-market support. Holding above that area would signal continued strength, and if we're seeing that persistent upside momentum, then we can retest 0475 to 0575 and potentially the 08 half to 10 half initial resistance area. As far as shorting that area goes, again, that's going to depend on the real-time market context, because any shorts at this point are going to be counter to the short-term bias as well as the larger time frame bias. So we just have to be a little more cautious and conservative. On the short side, our focus is still going to be more on the long side, but while being mindful of trade location and the reward potential and the fact that we need to see continued momentum in order to have the long setups work out. So those are the main thoughts heading into the open. Let's see if the buy side can maintain the control we've seen here in the overnight session, and we'll take it from there.